Well, I'll be honest. I think Kenny, I think that that event at the well, it was closer to 120 to 150 people, not 60. So
Oh,
there were that auditorium, that church was full.
yeah, I
And
don't think I looked up.
and I know I know you were nervous as hell, and you were reading verbatim off a sheet of paper that was quivering quite a bit, but I'm telling you, man, I'm going to get a little emotional on this one. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Um, your words resonated so profoundly with everyone that was there because I think every last one of them knew exactly what you were feeling and you put it into words that they couldn't. And it was so profound. Um, it was a real significant event for me too. Now, just from my own background, I'm not a first responder. I spent 28 years in the U.S. Navy, but I didn't see combat, and so I don't have a lot of the combat trauma that a lot of veterans have. But I'll tell you what OIT did for me as a leader is that it gave me tools to help identify some of those things that he talks about in the people that I serve with when I was in uniform and now that I'm not in uniform, but the people that I work alongside of. And there were several times when I was in uniform where I'd have a sailor come into my office and say, "Sir, do you have a minute?" And the reality was, as I didn't. My there was no white space on my calendar. It was completely full. And one of the things that leadership schools don't teach the human side of leadership. They talk about how to get the job done,
Mm.
how to use your resources the most efficiently. They don't talk about how to deal with that knock on your door. Sir, do you have a minute? Ma'am, can I talk to you for a minute? And then to have someone come in, plop their butt in the chair in front of your desk and just break down in tears. Leadership schools don't tell you how to deal with that and how to approach that.
Mm-mm.
And that happened to me several times throughout my career. But the one thing that I regret is those were the fish jumping into the boat. What about the people who didn't have the didn't have the confidence to be able to come into my office and say I need help? Would I have caught the signs that Kenny talks about in OYT? Would I have been able to look at someone that I see every day and go, I'm not sure something's right. Oh, maybe I should engage with this person and just ask how their day's going. And fortunately, to the best of my knowledge, no one that I served with took their lives while I was, while I had influence, while they were in my circle of influence. But um, I, I don't know that I would have recognized those signs. And I think OYT talks about that from a leadership perspective, not just in your own self to be able to go, I see this happening in my life and I need to go reach out and get help. But for the people around, the family members, the leaders, the friends, the coworkers, to be able to go, hey, I something's not right about this situation with this person, and I wonder if I can just ask how are things going. And since I've known Kenny, and since I've been to that very first um, talk at the well, and and just knowing him, I've been able to grab some tools and put in my own toolbox, and I've used them. Been able to go to my coworkers and say, "Man, I'm not sure. Uh, I'm not sure everything's right with you. What's going on?" And that person may have otherwise not felt comfortable coming into my office and saying I need help, but since I opened the door, they were able to say, "Yeah, I've got some stuff going on. I don't want to talk about it." Okay, if you want to talk about it, just let me know. I'm here. Or yeah, I've got some stuff going on and I'm just not sure how to navigate that. Well, let's talk. Let's see what we can do. And I think that's one of the big benefits from OIT is that we don't always like I said, the fish aren't always going to jump into the boat. We've got to be able to look at the people around us and know them well enough to know when something's not right. And that's one of the big things that I've taken from Kenny and from OIT.
And man, that is one of the exact several of the reasons why I do this is for that day you called me and you said someone knocked on your door and they came into your office and they felt comfortable enough. And that, again, I didn't have that for those 7 years. No one knocked on my door because I didn't come across as a guy that you want to knock on the door with. But I'm just saying, what you just said is what I'm also trying to get across to people, the signs, the symptoms, and this, that they feel comfortable enough to come to you. I wish I would have went to somebody, but yeah, that
I'll tell you this though, Kenny, you're also a guy who practices what he preaches because I do remember when you were still in uniform, there were a couple of times when you called me at 5 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey man, I just left a scene with 6 body bags in the front yard.
I remember.
I just left a scene where I lost a 6-year-old in a car accident, or and you knew to reach out. You're not just someone who says you need to do this. You're someone who says these are the things that I've done to help heal me that I think will work for you.